How's it, Sean from Combat Simulations? Welcome to my Getting Started tutorial for Modern Air Power Demo. Alright, so before we get started, please subscribe to my channel, it's free, and also leave comments and suggestions, and watch my videos, and like them and share them. Helps me a lot, I promise you, it really does. Alright, so, getting started. John Tiller was the designer. It's 30 minutes, that's what it says the duration is. This is the getting started scenario for Modern Air Power Demo. Use the scenario to learn the basics of play in conjunction with the getting started help file, which you can display from the help menu. Your goal in the scenario is to fly a strike mission against the enemy and bomb their nuclear facility while protecting your assets from enemy interceptors. Be sure to watch out for an enemy SAM site guarding the facility. Alright, let's get started. Okay, so there we go. Let's load up the getting started. Let's make it so that it's the right size. Alright, this file will help you get started quickly with Modern Air Power. If you have just installed the game, okay, so we got this, we've installed the game, we've read all that. Okay, the main part, no, we don't need the getting started file, we've loaded up with everybody. In the lower right hand corner of the screen, you'll see the jump map, which displays the overall situation. The blue dots represent the side A's flights, and the red dots represent side B's flights. The red rectangle indicates how much of the overall situation is visible on your main map, which is the larger display on the screen. Okay, so fancy there, just explaining. Everybody knows, well, should know what the jump map is. There it is there. Okay. Right, let's put this on this side. Okay. If you click on a flight on the main map, you will notice additional information displayed on the screen. Right, let's just do that. So we know. There we go. So we're now displaying in the center, Mr. Fender. Yeah, the currently selected object or location uses a small red circle. Dark blue circles indicate that the current limit of the visibility from the selected target. So there's our red little circle, right? The dark blue lines, dark blue circle is the visibility, the eyeball, how far you can physically see, right? The yellow line indicates the range of the radar systems, right? So that's that there by Sol. You just look at it, this line over there by Sol. Yeah, you will notice that the radar range around your bases shrink when you select the F-22s. This represents degraded performance against them because of their stealth characteristics. Yeah, see now, look at the range of the radar. But if you click on the F-22, look how they shrink. Just shows you what their systems that they're using. Red lines indicate the range of the currently selected weapon systems, and light blue lines indicate the range of advanced electronic sensors. So basically, this light blue line is how the electronic sensors of the aeroplane, and these red lines indicate the range of our weapon systems, of our payloads. Notice when we click on the flight on the main map, additional information is displayed in the area on the lower left-hand side of the screen. The information shows you that the flight consists of a flight of 4 F-22s of the 90th Fighter Squadron. The information also tells you that the flight is flying at 840 knots, there it is, and has a remaining range of 1,232 nautical miles. Okay, so there's the speed, 840 knots. It has 1,232 nautical miles. That's when it needs to refuel. It is 4 F-22s, and yeah, okay, all right. The list on the right of this aircraft shows that the flight has 24 AIM 120D missiles and 8 AIM 9X missiles. AIM 120D is shown in orange, which indicates it's currently selected. That's the currently selected ordnance. The information also indicates the flight has air superiority as its designated mission. Okay, so let's have a look. So that's the selected ordnance. It also has this And you can select it. See there, you can change the ordinance. You can say which ones will be selected and which ones won't. And of course, it has air superiority. See where my mouse is. You can, sorry, you can change the level of the zoom level of the map in a couple of ways. So we just going to do that for you so you don't. There we go. I'm using the mouse wheel. Okay, so everybody usually in this day and age has a mouse with a wheel. So you just use the wheel. It just makes life so much simpler than pressing keys, like plus or minus on your keyboard. All right. Okay, the menus at the bottom center of the screen can also be used to control various functions, including what is displayed on the map. In the view menu, there is an option for turning on names on map. Selecting this option causes names to be displayed on the map corresponding to various ground and air objects. View menu and names on the map. Okay, so let's just get this higher. Okay, so it puts the names on, like the names of the airfields, airports, and the nuclear facility. Okay, so that's always handy to have on. I like having that on. Notice that if you move your mouse to the edge of the screen in the map, okay, so basically what he's talking about here, if we move to there we go. So a mouse scrolls to the right and to the left and whatever. So when you move your mouse to the edge of the screen, it scrolls. Okay, we don't have to read that. Okay. Since we are playing the scenario with fog of war, only some objects such as fixed targets and air bases are visible. There are defenses you cannot see without gathering additional sensor information. For now, you'll notice that you can see one enemy airbase, Sunan. Let's just see here. Okay, so we can see his nuclear facility. All right. Yeah. So sorry. Yeah. Sunan. It is likely that this airbase has enemy aircraft, and you should expect that they will be scrambled to intercept your own forces. You will also notice that there's one enemy fixed target, their nuclear facility. Okay, so we know that, which we showed it now. You will have to control the speed and altitude of your flights as you close with the enemy. Below the aircraft pictures a list of speeds that this flight can be commanded to use. All right, clicking on one of these numbers causes the flight to adjust speed accordingly. So these must be the speeds, right? A speed displayed in green indicates this is a minimal speed of the flight, meant to conserve fuel. A speed displayed in white indicates normal cruising speed for that flight. A speed displayed in yellow indicates military speed, generally the fastest an aircraft can fly without afterburners. Finally, a speed in red indicates the use of afterburners. So that's low, right? Yeah. So what he means is if we put it up, see it's in yellow. So that's military speed. White is normal cruise, and then green is what was green again? It's the minimal speed that he can fly it. So just these colors, yeah, white, green, red, yellow. Red is afterburners. When you put the afterburners, you're gonna have to throw some fuel off and whatever off the plane. Military is just fast as it can go without the afterburners, and then cruise speed is white and green is minimal speed and okay. Um, Okay, so this is the fastest after jettisoning. Okay, this is the fastest the flight can go, but after jettisoning certain payloads with extreme fuel consumption. So this is the one. If it turns into red, that's with afterburners. Altitude is displayed in a similar way on the right hand side. Cruising altitude is standard. Flying low will increase fuel and reduce range, but also create problems for enemy aircraft and weapon systems trying to target you. Some specialized aircraft can fly extreme high altitudes, even in space. So, yeah, this is low. So, this is below and this is high up, the altitude. So at lower altitude, you use more fuel, and you can't fly as far. High altitude, you use less fuel, you can fly further. But as it says here, some weapon systems can't target you at low speed. At low altitude. All right, in the middle of the bottom, at the bottom, there is several possible run speeds available, from 0x to pause to 10x of real time. When you're ready, you can start the simulation by clicking on the desired speed. You can also toggle the running and pausing in the game by pressing the spacebar. That's brilliant. I love that. Ah, there we go. Brilliant in the spacebar. There's one speed. See there's the running speed. That's brilliant. I love that. Yeah, I love that. I love that. I love games that you can pause. That's real time pause, and it doesn't interfere with doesn't interfere with how you play the game. You can give all the actions, and there's feedback on it. When you click on an item and you move it, you can see that there's feedback on it. I hate those games when they say, "Oh, you can pause," and their big yellow pause comes up in the middle of the screen, and you can only move around, or you can move your units, but there's no feedback. Oh god, I hate those hoses. I like the real time um, pause function that works properly. Yeah. Um. Okay. You have two separate. Yeah. You can also toggle the running and spawn. You have two separate flights available to you for this scenario. You can review the details as mentioned by clicking on each flight in turn. Your F-22s are already airborne. Okay, we know about that. While some F-15E Strike Eagles are still on the ground at Seoul. The F-22s can be used to intercept enemies and escort the F-15Es, which are tasked with the ground strike mission. When you see enemy flights in there, you can intercept them by selecting the flight of F-22s on the map, then issuing an order for that flight to intercept the enemy flight by clicking with the right mouse button on the enemy flight. So what he means is just you select it, you just right click on it. Right. And it also looks like it when you right click, it's also telling you that's giving it an indication to go. So it's nice and easy. And you could also, if you have a flight, just right click on that one. Uh, You will notice it creates a white line, which we did now, between the F-22s and the enemy flight. This line is the current flight path, or in this case, the path for intercept. When the F-22s get into range of the enemy flight, they will automatically fire their weapons. Now for the F-15E Strike Eagles. Double click on Seoul Air Base, and a dialog box will appear. There we go. Okay, so let's just read about that. This will list all the aircraft in the base, along with various options for advance orders, payloads, and so on. Only Strike Eagles of the 44th Fighter Squadron will be available in this scenario. So double click on them in the list, and the airbase dialog will disappear with F-15E selected. So he means this. We double. Okay, so they're selected. See here on the side here. Yeah, there's the F-15s, but let's see. But you have to see it still keeps it, but you've got to double click on this. I suppose you could just select it with the OK as well. Now for the Strike Eagle, double click on the Seoul base, and this will list the aircraft there. Only Strike Eagles are available with the FC. Giving them any orders now will cause them to move to the runway and take off. This can be as simple as using the right mouse button to give a movement order. If more aircraft were available, they'd have to take turns on the runway, but the F-15Es are the first in line and will launch at once. Okay, great. So it's got the same information, just different statistics, and there's all these ordnance. See that? You can probably select that different ordnance for whatever you want to use it for. The F-15Es are equipped with laser-guided bombs using special traits such as penetrating T and self-guided optical P. To see more about what these letters represent, you can view the aircraft and weapons database through the Help menu at the bottom center of the screen. And moving right to let's just see this. So it says here, there's a database. Okay, so there's all your weapons. Jeez, look at the planes involved here. Look at the planes. Look at this database, man. Look at this. Are these all planes? You know what? It's probably all the items in the game, like tanks and whatever. But shit, man, it's got a lot. Okay, so that gives us a help. All right. The F-22s are intended to act as top cover for our F-15E strike package, but in addition to the potential enemy fighters that could be scrambled, there will be likely be some SAM sites or surface-to-air missile batteries. So there'll be SAM sites and enemy air. And a SAM site can be either active or inactive. When it's active, colored red, then then it is using the radar to track enemy flights in preparation for firing missiles. An inactive site is not currently using its radar and is shown in gray. Okay, so it's red, it's active, it's gray, it's not. Some weapons and detection equipment are only effective against SAM launchers by homing in on their radar missions, which means they can lie in ambush by switching off and on. So yeah, long sentence, but what that means is they switch off and on. So when they're on, they're emitting radar information that they're letting everybody know of where they are, and you can target them. But when they switch off, they go dead. So that's basically what that means. Our mission is relatively simple, just simple one: destroy the enemy nuclear facility, defending against any aircraft scrambled to attack us, and return to base safely with as few losses as possible. To do this, we will assign some orders to our flights of aircraft, selecting them and using the right mouse button. Orders can be given in real time, which is a hands-on approach, or we can schedule various orders in advance instead. All our with our game paused. The latter is done by holding the left shift key while right-clicking on the map. Okay. First, we want our F-22s to head north and search for enemy threats. Selecting the flight with a single left click. Okay. Next, press and hold the shift key and then right click on the map to right click on the map to the right of the nuclear facility. A pop-up menu will appear with different orders. Select the first option to fly to, which will order our flight to move to that point. Okay, so he's meaning this. Okay, so if we hold, okay, so if we click that and we hold the shift and we right click just there, it brings up that menu, and then we've got all these orders. So we fly to. Okay, so that's the same that I was doing just now. So we like this. If we just right click, and then it just flies to there. Okay, so it's the same thing. Okay, so but let's just do the menu because there's other. Okay, so we're gonna fly to. You said they're just to the right. Okay. Next, we're going to again. Next, we will again press and hold Shift key and right-click to the left of the nuclear facility. But this time, we will select Patrol from the pop-up menu. This tells our flight to fly back and forth between the first waypoint and this one until issued with further orders between the two waypoints. A dialog box will appear asking for time. Leaving it at 00 will make the patrol last indefinitely. Setting a time will cause the flight to end the patrol after that amount of time has elapsed and proceed with any further orders you've lined up. Okay, so it's like leaving a waypoint order thing. If no orders have been given, that they will continue to fly in a straight line until directed otherwise. If you set a time, a good order will give. If you set a time, a good order will give last would be a good order to give last would be return. Okay, so if you set it, that's a good order. So you should at the end set it as return, which will indicate a course back towards the flight's home base for landing. You can set the order from any position on the map without having to click on the airbase itself. So what he means is this: okay, let's just shift and hold that again, and we're going to patrol. And well, it doesn't say, it just says refueling, but we're going to select that one. What he means is that you should put it a good order to if you set a time. Oh, okay, Okay, if you set a time, a good order to give last will be to return, which means return to base. So they must end at the last part. One last thing we want to do with this flight selected is to go to the command menu and select auto intercept from the sub menu to the right. This tells the flight that as soon as it detects an enemy flight, it should leave its associated flight path and engage the enemy threat. However, this will cancel all existing orders as the flight prioritizes that target, and you must give it new orders afterwards. Okay. So he's talking about, well, where was the order? What was he? Oh, command menu. Okay, so we got to go to the command menu. Auto intercept. So what happens is it'll fly around there from there, intercept anybody around there. If it doesn't, anybody around there, anybody that flies or comes or whatever, it'll just auto intercept. But it'll forget its orders to patrol of that. You'll have to do the orders again. That's all that saying there. Okay. Um. Okay. There we go. Auto intercepts on. Now go ahead and start the scenario by clicking on one of the numbers below, the runtime, such as 4 times. Our F-22s will begin their journey north. We want them to be well on their way before the F-15s arrive. Okay, so we want him to be about here. So let's just do that. Okay. Well, I did press it. No, but yeah, but the thing is with this. So I wait for the planes to fly past. I wait for the. Check this thing out. The thing is with this runtime, I'm not so happy with this. If I set it as 10, right? All right, now it's going 10. Now I switch it off. Right, it's paused. When I click it again, it goes back to 1. It doesn't go back to my 10 speed. It doesn't remember that. That's a bit sad. It should remember my 10 speed. Now I have to always click it on 10 again. Alright, see there 1. But anyway. So let's let him about there. Okay, so we're gonna pause it over there. Yeah. After a few minutes game time, double click on Seoul Airbase to bring the F-15Es into the mix. We want to fly in the same general path as the F-22s so that the airspace ahead of them is cleared first. So the F-22s are flying ahead. With the Strike Eagle selected, right-click on the map and choose them to fly to in the same general area our first order was given with a shift. Right-click on the... Then, again, holding down the shift key. Okay, so we want them in the same general area. Okay, so he's talking about this. There. Okay, so we want him to shift, right, fly to, and we want him to, let's see, and attack, default. We'll just keep it as default. We'll change it if he makes anything else. Okay, so that's all he said. Select a right click on the map and choose fly to in the same general area as our first order was given. Then again, holding on and attack. We did that. From here, you can set another order to continue flying or to return, which sends them back home. Okay, so we didn't do that. Now sit back and watch your plan unfold. If you wish, you can select a higher time compression, yeah, and move this along more quickly. Now we'll just read this. Just read what he... So what I'm going to do is, looks like he's going to read through this whole thing, then we'll do it and see. After a few minutes, things start getting interesting. An enemy fighter group has scrambled to attack us, but our F-22s are out of range, out of radar range. See, but he hasn't got the... Okay, let's just click it to get it off the ground. Okay, so there's the F-16s. See when this O is selected. Watch this. See when that O is selected. See the radar bases. But when you select the F-15, look how big the... So as soon as this F-15 gets in there, past this range there, then the enemy's going to pick him up. Then they'll start flying and SAMs will start coming, because the F-15E hasn't got a good radar signature. And look at that, he hasn't picked up the F-22s yet. This is awesome, eh? Fucking awesome. All right, so but our F-22s are out of range, meaning they are responding to our F. Okay, but an enemy fighter group has been scrambled to attack us, but our F-22s are out of radar range, meaning that they are responding to our F-15s instead. So they're shooting at the F-15s. Okay. Additionally, a hidden SAM site has been revealed by the ground mapping radar of our F-15Es. The enemy flight is quickly dispatched, but they've gotten off their missiles already. Our strike eagles may be able to defeat the missiles on their own with onboard ECM, or we can manually direct them to fly away at maximum speed in an attempt to let the missiles run out of energy. Otherwise, the chances are good you will lose an aircraft to the attack. Okay, fair enough. We're gonna watch what this stuff does. The F-22s no longer have a mission now that they've broken their patrol to engage the target using auto-intercept. Also, since we know that the SAM site is present, we may want to shift our Strike Eagle flight's route further east and west to avoid it. Okay, fair enough. So we want to maybe come this way and then around, or round this way, or whatever, because he's here. So we might do that, but then it's taking longer. Also, since we know that it's the SAM, we may want to shift it. Yeah, SAMs only have so many missiles. That's no excuse to tempt fate, right? Okay, so it's no, you can fly straight, but it's tempting fate. Giving flights any orders now will delete all previous orders, requiring us to redo them, but we can always pause the game and make this happen. A second enemy flight scrambles, but our F-22s are now in position and rapidly shoot them down. Again, they get their missiles off on our Strike Eagle package. So they haven't picked up the F-22s yet. So I'm just thinking from him, we haven't done it yet, but he hasn't picked up the F-22s because their radar signature is so tiny. They haven't found the F-22s, but they know about the F-15s. Okay. Okay. Again, they get the F-15 Eagle, Strike Eagle package, and we lose one of them. If mission time were not so pressing, perhaps we should have kept the Strike Eagles further as bait, or struck the enemy directly at the airbase with some stealthy munitions first. So we should have. Yeah, he's saying if we had more time, we could have maybe taken out the aeroplanes, their airbase, and then taken on the nuclear. It's just different tactics. With F-15Es closing on the target, you can set the F-22s to use the escort mission on them. This will cause them to intercept and then follow close, engaging any enemies that approach our F-15s. As they overfly the target, our F-15Es drop their laser-guided bombs. There are only so many to go around, though, and the target in our case only takes 47% damage. Luckily, this is enough to score major victory for our side. Judging by the blue bar being filled out above the jump map, this must be the objective there. If it wasn't, we could have gone to bring more ordnance to bear. After the bombing run, it's time to head for home, so we kick up the speed of our F-15E flight to 960. If we overfly the SAM site by accident, the extra speed will make it more difficult for them to target us. So if we're flying faster, it's harder for them. When our F-15s reach a soul using return, they are first in line again and land immediately. The F-22 is not so far behind, where their escort orders are delayed for a short while as friendly aircraft leave the runway. Both flights landed. We simply wait for the time of mission to run out. Okay, so that we're gonna a lot of talking there, a lot of writing, but we're gonna try it out. Okay, so let's run it. Okay, so do we have anything? He's now auto-intercepting. Our F-22 is auto-intercepting. Okay, good. Now there's the SAM side. Okay, so he's now shooting at our F-15E. But enemy flight lost 3 aircraft. Okay, great. So this means, okay, let's just keep it there. Let's just see what else. Okay, so they're all dead. Okay, so this F-22 did a good job. So now he says this orders, because they auto-intercepted, this orders now. So we shift. Oh, hang on. We're going to shift this thing, and we click on the F-15Es, and we click escort. So he will now fly back and escort the F-2, because the airplanes are out now. No. So they missed. Okay, so they're flying together. You notice that? Check out they're flying together. It's awesomeness, eh? No, we're just flying the direct path. We're gonna fly over the SAMs. He's obviously gonna shoot a couple of SAMs at us. Okay, there goes the SAM. Okay, I'm just checking. This is very exciting, man. Okay, so we've got 3 left. Lost 1. Okay, he's gonna fly over and drop the bombs. Lost 46%. Okay, so we're gonna now. He's now flying back, but we must switch him to his fastest flight, and we're gonna keep him low. Now he's gonna. Let's press the shift. We're gonna fly there. We're gonna escort him. Yeah. And he's gonna fly fast. He's flying fast, low altitude, so he doesn't get shot down anymore. So he says when you fly back fast, it's you can outrun the missiles, and he can't get our F-22s down. Now we just land. Got it on full speed. Okay, he's landed, and then we just wait for the mission timer to run out. I think it runs out over here, but I think we just gotta wait for it. Let's just pause. What did he say? If, using the return. I didn't think of this return thing, man. Okay, let's just shift. Oh, okay. So there's the return. So we shift on there and we just say return. No. I'm just trying to see what that. Okay, so there's the return. So okay, hang on, let's just see what he says here. We simply wait for the mission to time out. Okay, so then we should get that screen. Okay, so let's make it 10. Oh. Okay, there returns. Now we just wait for the timer. Well, I don't know what is he still going? Oh, he's refueling. Well, I don't know, but it's awesome. That's what I do know. You know, this game reminds me of a game. Okay, so I just want to say this game reminds me of a game called Flight Commander 2. I don't know if you guys have ever played that. It was a game in the early 90s that came out. Fantastic. It was a game of aerial tactical combat. Like this, not real time, but not flying in the planes. Not flying in, using your tactics, your strategic tactical to fly the planes. Similar to this, but it had more fidelity in terms of how you flew and whatever, and there were maneuvers and you had pilots. It was awesome battle. I've been trying to find it again. If you can find it again, I don't think it runs on modern computers. You could, if you could play it on modern computers, the graphics would be great. I promise you, because it had everything was in color with VJ and whatever. It just doesn't work in today's computers, as far as I know. And there was a DOS one and a Windows one, and you can't get the patch to load. So I tried as fuck to find it again because I loved that game. It was very unique. There isn't a game that was made like it. It was aerial tactical combat from a top level, and you had all your maneuvers and your rolls and your G forces, and you had different pilots and they had different skills, and you could fly any aircraft from the 1960s up to the 2000s. It was all the modern airfare, and it had a whole lot of scenarios, and it also had a random mission skirmish uh, um, random skirmish generator. Fantastic, awesome. Now this reminded me of this. This is just more real time. It's happening in the real time and whatever, but very similar with different mechanics. I wish I could. I know I went off on a tangent there, but all right. Oh, sorry about that. Let me close this. What does he say now? Okay, so the victory dialogue now displays. Despite the loss of the Strike Eagle, how many did we lose? We lost one, I think. No, it's a blue. We lost one. He lost eight. If I'm not mistaken. And the ground. So let's just see when he says, yeah. I know I've got to keep this thing going because I. Okay, so despite the loss of a Strike Eagle. Okay, there's a one he lost. That's the blue. We managed to shoot down 8 enemy aircraft and cause enough damage to the nuclear facility to justify a major victory. Okay, so we got a major victory. Sorry, so I can just open that. Yeah, to justify a major. You are encouraged to run the scenario again as many times as you wish in order to get comfortable with the user interface. You may even be able to pull off a perfect victory by not losing an aircraft and destroying the facility completely. Yeah, so you can see here, he lost 8, and we got a 46% victory. It was 46, right? Ground losses 46%. There's the general points, and we got 7,980. Did we lose the same? Did we lose? Sorry, I'm just because that's the only way I can switch. Yeah, you got a higher score than us, but that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so we'll say okay. Okay. So then we're back here again. Like at the start of the scenario, there's everything. All right, fantastic. What does he say here? You can now navigate the interface a bit better. Try moving onto the flight school scenarios, starting with flight 1, and you can reach these by clicking on the load button directly beneath the run time selection. These scenarios will teach you more about specific game mechanics, including tactics and techniques with both conventional and advanced technology. Lastly, there are 9 scenarios in which you can apply what you've learned. So, okay, hang on. Yeah, no. Oh, he's talking about these. And then there's all these scenarios. There's 9 scenarios where you can practice all the. So it's a full game. It's a full game, full modern flight. It teaches you how to all these different scenarios. Teach you flight schools, and then you've got yeah, these are all flight schools, and then you've got various scenarios, real life scenarios. Okay. The scenarios will teach you more about specific game mechanics, including tactics, techniques, with both conventional and advanced technology. Lastly, there are 9 scenarios. We read that. To learn more about modern air power at this point, you can refer to the manuals. They can be found in in-game help or by opening the PDF files directly in the game folder. The user manual is a complete reference of gameplay features in modern air power. It's very helpful when working through the flight school scenarios. and then the main program. The interface. This generally goes through the interface and how it works. As previously mentioned, you can see the database and the parameter file using the in-game help menu. The database lists all aircraft munitions with their associated statistics and traits, while the parameters are scenario specific and show you various conditions related to the scenario. Yeah, let's have a look here. He's talking about the parameter data. And I think the only thing that's common to all the John Tiller. This is a big change to his whole system and how he works with the ground forces. The panzer battles and that. This is completely different. It's built on the same thing. I mean, it's got all these parameters. This is parameter data. Like you can see the system in terms of how the interface works, and it's the same thing, but it's completely different from this. And it's being with air power. I mean, obviously, it's going to have quite a bit different. I wanted to show you the user manual, so you can see. I mean, this user manual is extensive, man. I mean, okay. Okay, that's the actual site. Let me just open it. Let me put it here. I've got to show this to you. Fit to width. Okay, so there's the user. So this is the user manual for the modern air combat. All the tactics. Look at that. The tactics involved. And I know because I played Flight Commander 2, and I didn't think you could possibly do it. You could have this. You could fly airplanes with the tactics, not inside the actual flying the airplane in the plane, but you could use tactics. And I can tell you this. All the tactics. There's hundreds of tactics. It's fantastic. And there's all the tactics and whatever, all the different planes, military speeds, how to spotting and identification, different types of radar, map elevations, maneuver, launch intervals. I suppose you're getting a lot of aircraft off the ground. Now, one of this thing uses aircraft carriers also to fly from. Firing. Yes, look at all this. This is the manual. This is like in depth, eh? External fuel tanks, shaft, air bases. Yes, and this War Games Design Studio has updated this, right, to the modern uh, 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 the modern era. Yeah, and yeah, and this where's this thing now? Where I wanted to show you. Let me see if I can get it. I don't know if I can bring it up. War Games Squad Battle, War Games Design Studio, and then you've got the whole range of. It's a bit slow now. Let me just. Okay, there we go. All right, so it just took it forever. Okay, game series. My internet's just very slow. I just wanted to show you all the different, like. Where's this thing? Okay, here's the game series. This is taking forever to load up, man. Modern air power. So let's just see if we can get in here. Site is so slow. I don't know why it's so slow. It's my computer internet connection. Okay, well, it's not going in there. Okay, it's not that important. I just wanted to show you all the different, like they've got the Israeli conflicts. They've got like all they've got quite a few games on this modern combat air power ones. I think they got a Korean one. I'll speak to me mistaken, but they got various eras, scenarios, different places, Israeli, Cold War, with modern modern air combat. Anyway, I think I covered everything. I love this game. I think it's fantastic. Really, it's got pity I couldn't show you there. I mean, because the internet is so slow. I don't know if it's my internet or whatever, but you can go onto the War Games Design Studio. You can go into that modern combat, and you'll see there's a few games on modern air combat. It's brilliant, brilliant system. And John Tiller designed this, so he designed this way back then. And yeah, I think I covered everything. I'm sure I must have left stuff out. I mean, it happens. Um, yeah, and I probably said stuff that wasn't in the manual or was in the manual or whatever, and I've forgotten stuff or I didn't mention stuff or whatever. All right, yeah, Sean from Combat. Love this game. Go buy it. It's brilliant. It's a lovely game. Sean from Combat Simulations. Please subscribe to my channel. It's free. And also leave comments and suggestions. And watch my videos. And love them. And like them and share them. I love them. Like them and share them. It helps me a lot, I promise. All right. Until our next getting started tutorial from War Games Design Studio. Good day on you.